Here we are on the internet again. My name's Joel Henderson. With me, as always, for these TV episode reviews,
Jeremy beside us.
there he is. We are here not with another Game of Thrones podcast, but this time House Podcaster, ? As Jeremy said, I don't know. We don't know.
Is it House Podcaster Leftovers Edition?
If you have a suggestion,
Yeah,
feel free
shoot
to
it.
name us.
That would be cool. Yeah.
We're doing a podcast about The Leftovers,
the new HBO series.
the new Damon Lindelof series. Most importantly,
Right. Oh, for you.
well, fuck yeah, for me.
Well, that's okay.
This is all about me, guy. Of course. I'm the only one whose opinion matters. I mean, besides yours, I guess. I guess. So this show,
I gotta fix my fucking hat.
it had a. I didn't like the opening. I didn't like the opening credits. I didn't like the music really in this show. It was okay by the end, but I guess it was not that it was so jarringly different than, the Lost soundtrack or whatever, but I guess I wasn't quite expecting it to be, I don't know, I guess it's a little rough.
I don't know if I was paying that much attention to the music.
Oh.
I mean, maybe at some point.
Headphones make you do that. You know what I mean? When you're listening to it right in your ears like that.
Oh, you were watching it on headphones. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know that I was. I maybe noticed that the last song was a little kind of hard, like rock song they were playing at the end of when he was shooting. But for some reason, I cannot picture any opening credits. I didn't catch anything. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know. I just remember just shooting straight into it.
Well,
it said October. Boom.
Yes. Here's what we're gonna do. We're just in case you haven't listened, in case you're new to us, because you want to, like us, know more about The Leftovers without reading the books.
Or book.
Yeah, we're just going to go through this, what happened, and then just give our thoughts on it as it goes along. That's all.
Right, kind of like even the same format we did for the House Podcaster stuff, where we just Joel takes really good notes of the show.
Once you get a vibe for what we are, or you know what I mean, who we are and stuff, I think you'll either dig it or you'll run fast. So here we are. We start on a black screen, October 14th. There is a baby crying.
So wait a minute. Now I'm confused. Now is this after some opening credits? Because I missed that. If there was opening credits, then I missed
I'm not sure that there were opening credits before it. I can't remember if it went to opening credits.
I'm gonna have to watch it again. Okay, I'm off that. I'm off because it's taking too much time.
I don't know.
Was it October
maybe
14th,
there were,
right?
maybe there weren't.
October 14th.
It says October 14th. Then you hear a baby crying, and this annoying fucking mom ignoring her baby is at the laundromat. She was just, to me, I was so irritated by her. I don't know why.
Shut that fucking kid up the whole time I'm watching the show. I mean, like, I got kids. I got little kids, and they constantly make noise, and I'm constantly telling them to shut up. But, this lady was completely ignoring the kid, talking on the fucking phone.
Exactly. Like an asshole.
Right.
That's a fucking sociopath.
Wasn't there some other, people giving her some, judgmental
Yes.
looks?
So anyways, she's still on the phone. The people were giving her judgmental looks. She's still on the phone as she goes to get in the car. Never off the phone one time. And let's see, she bends down to grab something.
It seemed like there was a couple different conversations she was having.
Yeah, like she just can't stay off the fucking phone for 5 minutes.
Yeah, she was on the phone the whole time. Like it wasn't. But you could tell there was different. It wasn't the same conversation she was having.
I see what
several
you
different
mean.
ones. Yeah, it was funny. It's kind of like my wife, at home at night.
Just back to back to back to back.
Bam, 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 on the phone the whole night. Anyway,
So it says, so she gets in the car and she's talking about something, and then she bends down to grab something off the floor. And what I noticed, only because I had seen the preview for this, you know what I mean, the trailer for the show,
too,
that the baby was going to be gone then.
Right.
So I was watching the whole frame.
See, I wasn't watching.
And what I noticed was that the lady that was walking in the background disappeared.
Yeah?
Yeah. She was just basically she walked into the frame, and then she bent down and she went below the door so you couldn't see out. So the lady would have been about here when she came back up, and there was nothing there.
And then there's the car crashed in the background.
Well, that was before she got out of the car. When she got out of the car
That
because
was
she was.
after she got out of the car.
That's what I'm saying. The car crash was after she got out of the car.
Oh, you're
This is-
saying the lady. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the lady was just. I think that a lady
I'm gonna have to
disappeared in
watch
the
it again because
background.
I didn't see that, but I will look for it. At a rewatch. For sure.
So she gets out of the car, looking frantically, just fucking screaming her baby's name over and over again.
Like he got up and walked away.
And I said, "This is the first time she's not on the phone."
Right.
Sam is gone. A boy is yelling for his dad, and the shopping cart the dad was pushing runs into a car. Panic is ensuing. People rush to help her, and she starts crying like the baby was, except more annoyingly. Because something about her struck me as like just.
Well, she's gonna pop up again later.
Well, obviously, yes. Well, yeah, I mean, we know that now. Well, I mean, any other thoughts on that aside from the utter disappointment that I felt after watching it?
What are you talking about?
That was the scene? That was the fucking departure? Then we cut to 3 years goddamn later?
Well,
Okay, well, we had the 911 montage where
Okay.
everybody was calling 911.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is you're going to get more of that. I think that was just the first glimpse of it, dude. Like, I really don't think that was it. Like, we're going to get more detail from that. That's not just going to be the only departure scene. No. I mean, that can't be possible for this show. They have to keep going, flashing back and showing us more of that and what happened during, no. That can't be just it. Like, just her point of view. And
If that were it, wouldn't you have been disappointed?
I will be disappointed if that's it. I'll tell you that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll give you that. I will be disappointed if that's it. But I didn't even take it at that. I talked about this is just the first we're seeing of it.
Well, it went to 911
why
call
her,
montage.
but- right.
That felt like they were wrapping up all the other sides of it. Like, oh, well, everybody else had this issue too. And that's...
No way.
I'm just saying, that's how I viewed it the first time. I'm wrong.
I hope you are too, because that would be that would really be disappointing.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Because I heard all
But
these
the way the show feels and the way it's built, like I think we're gonna get more flashbacks.
I would
really
hope
think
so. I mean, that's a little losty, so to speak.
Well, who's doing the show?
I know. All I'm saying is,
his form and his way of doing it, made Lost famous. So
Yeah.
why not stick to your guns? You add new shit, but you still stick to your basic way of doing stuff.
Yeah, the story-
That's probably its similarities to Lost are probably one of the reasons he picked this.
yeah. Okay, I can see that. But so the 9/11 call montage or 911 call montage, then it immediately cut to 3 years later. So I felt like, oh my God, that's all we're gonna fucking get. But to be fair, I can take your point now because when we saw later in the episode when it did flash back to what people were doing, we only got one or two glimpses of it.
Where were you? What were you doing? Like we're gonna get more.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Okay.
get more
So
of that.
I guess I
wanna
can rest
see
assured
on
about
screen
that.
somebody fucking disappear. I want to see that. I want to see somebody like that. Like they said,
I think
the dogs,
they teased it.
like
I
they
think
said-
it'll be cool if eventually we see that lady disappear, the one that I'm saying disappeared behind the car.
Okay.
So, anyways, we're 3 years later, and they're basically listing the stats of the sudden departure. 2% are gone.
And they're talking about all the different countries and how many people they lost.
Yeah, and they're saying basically how 2% doesn't seem like much, but that's one in, what was it? 1 out of every 50 people or something like that is just gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
So, I mean, it could be anybody. Yeah.
And it doesn't- you're
more
right.
than likely, you're going to know somebody that was missing. So, anyways, we see the sheriff, Kevin Garvey, which I thought it was Garrity for most of it, but it was Garvey.
Garvey, right? Okay.
We see him running, and I only know he's a sheriff because of the preview, so spoiler alert. Someone is painting
if you're
a mural.
listening to this, then you should have already
seen
watched the show, right?
Someone's painting a mural as he goes by, which I can only assume is like a mural of their lost loved one.
Oh, the big black and white mural of the lady on the side.
Yeah,
of the
I
building who
figured
runs
that's
past.
what that was
Okay,
about.
I get it.
And then a dog I can only describe as suspicious approaches. And then
comes out of the bushes and kind of catches him off guard.
But
a
the
little bit.
dog it seemed suspicious. I was leery of that dog from the moment it popped on the screen for some reason. I don't know why. It just something about the way it looked. I felt suspicious of it.
Okay, well,
And then somebody shoots it and drives the fuck off.
Well, dude, that was a really weird scene because
Yeah.
he had the dog like, come on.
Yeah.
Like the dog like almost was like, okay, like I remember this kind of thing. Like it seemed like the dog was like it was a runaway or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but he almost.
Which we find out more on later, but
We do, but he almost had it like
Yeah, it almost
wasn't.
came to him, and it was
Right.
almost ready to like, yeah, it was not a problem.
So, and then he like boom, and then I don't know, made me jump. That
Yeah.
part made me oh shit, like holy fuck.
So dude
Yeah.
shoots it and drives off. It was a character in Jericho. That guy's in everything. He's in all kinds.
He's
of
in
stuff.
all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
So and then we see that the dog's name was Dudley on the tag.
And then he had a home of and a phone number on there too.
Yeah. So we cut to
Or an address.
we cut to people sleeping, and this girl, her name is Lori, wakes up and lights a cigarette. There's flashes of fights at a boarding school, and we see all these people sleep on mattresses in one room. They like panned back out. It made it look like she was in a bed before, but instead of just a mattress on the floor. But then we pan out and see that they're all staying in this same room, and it cuts to school. I mean, any thoughts on that? Stop me if you want to say anything.
Well, the guy like taps the clipboard on the wall.
They were nowhere near that. Not yet. That was the first scene. Then we cut to the school.
Oh wait, she lights a cigarette and that's it.
That was
okay,
literally.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
sorry. All right.
Then it cuts to the school, and there was lots of eye rolling during the announcements between the black-haired chick, Jill, and the boy. Just lots of eye rolling in general. It felt like.
Well, it looks like he was kind of flirting with her a little bit.
Yeah.
And then she did something a little like too far.
That was weird. So a lot of the kids get on their hands and knees to pray for the girls, for those who have left us.
Well, it was like really weird. Like they got down like almost cultish, kind of like they were part of a certain religion or something that's come about since this thing has happened.
Yeah.
A departure or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Which seems like it's what they're calling it
in the show. It's called The Sudden Departure.
but I mean, is that throughout the whole world or is that just this community?
Oh, I don't know. I assume that
Maybe they were talking about it because on the news and stuff like that.
Yeah, that they would have gotten the name from the news or whatever. So, cool guy mocks shooting himself. The girl, as I predicted when we watched the previews, I was like, no way she's doing something evil there, because they tried to make it. They cut it into this montage of like evil things, and it was like, that's gonna be her goofing around, and she was goofing around. She pretended to hang herself, and let's see.
I like how they kept all the preview stuff was all from the first episode.
Yeah.
It was all stuff we saw in episode 1.
And she gets like a mocking thumbs up from another girl because she basically fucked up flirting with the guy. She was trying to flirt with him, and it kind of backfired. He just kind of like turned back, and
he was like, "Wow, weirdo bitch."
Yeah,
right?
that was strange.
Right. It wasn't just the thing that because she didn't just go, she was like, and put the whole fucking noose around her neck and did the whole drop thing, and it was like, whoa, you got a little. You been thinking about this a little too much. You crazy bitch.
You got that shit all mimed out.
Right. What's going on here? Have you tried this?
So the next thing I noticed was that on the radio you heard mention of Boone having been missing. Boone lost his girl 3 years ago or something, and then it was Patsy Cline, which I'm positive was a lost artist.
Patsy Cline was, yeah.
So Patsy Cline playing behind announcing about Boone.
Weird.
Yeah, weird. I just thought another lost mention. No big deal. The congressman gets into a van.
Well, Damon Lindelof is probably you.
Yeah.
As far as
I'll
lost
just
goes.
throw that in.
Okay.
The congressman gets into a van. He gives the driver a wad of cash. Driver asks for his phone, takes the battery out, and gives him a blindfold to wear. And they pull away from the Halfway House Cafe. We cut to the congressional hearing on TV discussing the 2%. They concluded they don't know what happened.
Right, they just he was
getting all shitty with him.
Yeah, pretty much the whole scientific.
I couldn't figure out how to summarize it.
All the scientific community and everything. This is all you can come up with is
I don't know.
Yeah, which is basically how the fuck else do you where do you go?
Okay, well then I guess
There's
that
no
brings me
evidence
to
or no physical evidence or some sort of chemical evidence or anything left behind to examine. What do you fucking come up with?
Yeah,
you're pulling theories and shit out of thin fucking air. Same thing as like when like you watched that preview thing where they were talking about the missing persons and all that. I thought that was pretty cool. Like the Bermuda Triangle. Did you see that one?
Oh yeah. I did.
Like that one was
catch
neat.
those.
Like I thought that was neat. Like how do you explain it? What do you do?
Yeah. Well,
hold on. No. You guys need to go.
It's okay, Sawyer. You want a water? Hold on, I have to give my kid a
Kool-Aid.
A Kool-Aid water.
Can I have water?
So what I'm thinking is
I want water.
the part where
Madeline, shush, okay?
Can I have water?
I forgot what I was talking about. Shocking.
Sorry, people.
Oh, it's okay. Let's
So
see.
there
They concluded they don't know what happened. Now, do you take that to mean that we're never going to find out?
I want water.
Do you take that to mean that that's kind of crushing
I
any
mean-
hopes and dreams that's going to be the
I
ending
don't
of the
think
series?
I don't think that's the show, dude. I really don't.
Hey, Maddie, grab one from over there,
No,
please.
no, that's Daddy's. I don't. Sawyer, go get a water for Maddie.
Grab her a water, please. Right there. Hand me one.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
I want the water in there.
Okay,
Okay.
Uncle Joe will get you one. Hold on.
I can't.
So, oh, there we are. We got the water now. So you talk for a minute.
I don't know, dude. I really think that you might be right about that. Like, I don't know if we're gonna get a definitive answer on necessarily what happened.
Do you want one?
I don't necessarily know that that's the story that we're trying to find out or that we're learning.
No,
right
but
now.
isn't that a cop out
Well, yeah.
to go? Oh, well, that was never our intention to tell
Well,
that
it's
part
the
of the
same fucking
story.
thing as Walking Dead.
It
They're
is.
never going to explain it. What
They
happened.
did just say that the creator has an end game in sight
For what, Walking Dead?
for Walking Dead. He has an end game that they're going to start working towards, but I don't know why they have to wrap that show
You
up.
mean the
It goes-
show or you mean the
comic? I mean
the comic?
Yeah, the comic and the show have an end game, but anyways. So I don't know. I'm gonna be kind of bummed if they completely steer away from it and never even acknowledge it again.
what I'm saying is like, why would it be them?
Why would it be who?
Why would it be the characters we're watching that find out that this is of exactly what happened?
Because the same reason. Because they just used TV as that device. How they could find out.
Well, that's a cop out too.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just that's the reality of it. You'd
Somebody
watch that on
sitting there
TV.
explaining, like, somebody sitting there explaining, like a scientist explaining what happened. Like that's it. That's that's the answer you want. Or would you really rather just not know? It'd be more fun to just not know.
I don't know. That's what I mean. I'm not sure which way
I don't
this show's
necessarily know
going.
if it would be as interesting if they just gave us the facts right away. I don't know, man. I don't know. I like the whole struggle with it. I really do. Like I like the whole. Is it religious? Is it scientific? I like the whole man of science, man of faith thing. You know, like I really like the struggle that people are having with it, and I really like the whole. I don't know if you caught the whole end of the show and kind of what the purpose of them showing this family was. Is that they didn't lose anybody.
Yeah. Well, we're not done yet. We're not there yet. We have the whole.
We're not necessarily. Spoiler,
Okay, fair
I'm
enough.
just saying we're just talking about it. It's kind of in the midst
Yeah.
of what I'm saying at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I really thought that it was that watching these people who didn't actually lose anything struggle with this event.
Yeah.
I mean, because really, if you think about it, they should be like, "Oh my God, we're so thankful that this happened to everybody else and it didn't happen to us, but it's ripped our family to fucking
Yeah.
shreds."
Yeah. Well, after that, we go to the girl brushing her teeth, and this is the first we see of the guilty remnants. It's the thing
Well,
that
that's the second
we
we
are
see
the.
because that's where they were in.
Oh yeah. I mean that we see that it's called the guilty remnants. It's down there on the bottom of that thing that she has instead of her mirror.
right.
Yeah, it said guilty remnants down at the bottom.
Oh, the little
that's
quote,
what made
yeah.
me realize that that's what they were called. Blah blah blah. Or well, no, I watched that on the.
I see. I knew all that already. See,
Yeah.
I guess See, I knew a lot of this from watching the previews.
So, but no one speaks. But there is there was lots
That's
of
a giant
coughing.
beer. That's 4 giant beers. What's wrong with you?
I noticed lots of coughing because of everyone
'Cause everybody's
smoking,
fucking smoking.
and no one's talking, so you just hear the coughing. The daily board says sustenance, which struck me as odd wording for food.
Well, that's because it's. You see
I
what
know
she
it
put
was
in that
just slop.
fucking
Yeah,
bowl, right.
yeah. She goes get some slop. Someone
It's
comes
just
in and bangs a
basic
clipboard.
nutrients, like what they used to feed like tiny.
It looks
Tim
like
back
gruel
in,
and whatnot,
Like
yeah.
Ancient, well, not ancient, but like 18th century England.
Yeah.
You know, when there's poor people lining up at the bowl, they just.
So someone
please.
comes in and bangs a clipboard, and they all go to it, and it says Heroes Day, and Lori is upset and goes into some lady's office and starts writing. She wants to know why she isn't on the list. Get the kids and take them inside. Sawyer, go inside
You guys go in the
now.
other room right now.
What's the problem? Maddie, inside.
Maddie, in the other room. Go. He's going.
Maddie, that can come inside, Maddie.
Yeah, so it says Heroes Day on it, and she goes into the lady's office and she starts writing, and because obviously they can't talk, so she wants to know why she isn't on the list, and the lady just kind of just shrugs, and she wants to. Lori says she wants to go, and the lady writes okay, and seems to not really care. It's kind of flippant, and tells her to take her food, and
Yeah, she just kind of lets her go.
Yeah.
Just says
It
there
was-
was no. There was no.
It seemed like
opposition.
there was a hierarchy that we were about to find out about, and it wasn't that. Like, I thought that we were going to find out that, like, this other lady's a little bit higher up on the chain than she is, but they seem to be kind of equal. Everybody. It doesn't seem like there's many people in charge.
It seems like the one lady was in charge.
Who?
The one that she went in and talked to.
Yeah, but then she was just like, meh,
Well,
at
it seemed
everything
like
she
didn't care,
asked.
but I'll tell you what, she was the. Well, if you didn't want to move forward, then I can't really talk about what I was
Okay.
going to say.
Let's see. So Kevin pulls up. I was writing Kevin because I wasn't sure about the last name.
Garvey,
Garvey pulls up to the house in uniform. Or
Did you
pulls
watch
up to
it?
a house in uniform.
the show we're talking about.
I don't know.
The Leftovers.
No, haven't watched it.
Oh,
It was
okay.
kind of cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Kind
good.
of cool. Was it good?
It was really good.
Worth watching.
Yeah.
Mrs. Tunney, and she says, when he pulls up to the house in the uniform, he stares weirdly at an ornamental deer, which I just took to be noteworthy for some reason. It's like, why is
Oh,
he
yeah,
staring
he
at that
did-
deer for so long? And
Well,
I knew it
took
was going to come back.
I thought it was like it caught him off. The way I took it was like it caught him off guard because
Yeah.
it looked so fucking real. Like he was like, "Is that real?"
Yeah, he just stared at it for far too
Yeah.
long.
Well, yeah, we'll find out. Well, I guess we have to find out. Why,
Yeah,
but-
and so he's at Mrs. Tunney's house, and she says, "I thought you went crazy." And we flash to a man running naked, and he says that was his dad, the former chief. He says he found her dog, and he's dead. And she says, "So?"
I mean, that scene was great. The flash, the camera work, and everything, where he's knocking over lawn chairs and
Yeah.
shit. The naked dude, that was pretty hilarious.
The dog was gone for 3 years. Or he was gone for 3 years. Dog was her husband's. He's not coming back either. And he says, "Sorry for your loss." And she goes, "Is that what it is?" And then just shuts the
Shuts
door.
the door in his face.
It's pretty, weird. And
People have taken this thing really strangely. It's like, well, I mean, I think it's because of the no explanation.
yeah, it's
People
definitely.
just don't know how to handle it.
So,
If somebody dies, you know how to you grieve and you handle it. It's like the person just fucking disappeared.
yeah, you don't know.
What do I do? How do I intake this?
How do
I
you
don't
do? I
understand.
wait?
Right.
Are they going to come back?
Are they coming back? Am I going to? What is this?
Yeah. So Garvey calls someone and is informed the meeting is an hour earlier, and he looks again at the deer and it's gone.
No way.
Yep.
So I didn't catch that.
He looked back at the deer and the deer was gone.
Did it have antlers?
It had. What do you mean? Yeah.
The one that he looked at in the yard?
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
And it was gone.
I don't think it was the deer we saw later. But it was.
That's fucking weird. I didn't catch that.
It
Okay.
was gone. Because I made note that the deer was something important because he looked at it weird,
Wherever.
and I'm
Well-
like, that's going to come into play. So I'm Hawkeyeing that fucking deer, and when he turned
This
back and it wasn't
motherfucker
there,
is an experienced television watcher.
I
Like, he's like, he's like, that's fucking
Lost
awesome though.
taught me how to watch TV. Okay.
Pay attention to everything.
Disappear, like the,
Dude, like, well, the basis of the show is
I know,
two,
like,
2% of the
2%,
population.
like, or-
2% of the
yeah,
population just disappears.
Right? They're
Just
gone.
And nobody
vanishes.
knows.
Nobody
and-
can explain
yeah.
why.
So the
Also the deer.
yes, and also the deer.
And the deers, well, and see, that was another question I'm going to have is, what about animals? Did animals disappear too? Like, I mean, how would they know that? Besides if somebody's dog straight up disappeared in front of them. Like, I don't we'll get to that later. Because
Chinese
that's
people
just,
also.
See, we have more to talk about than we thought we would.
I think, yeah, I know what's going on.
So the congressman and the driver are shooting the shit. Why did you leave college? Cut to a flashback of people jumping from a building and landing on cars. I didn't quite get what that was about, except maybe he was saying that that's how macabre everything got.
Well,
afterwards.
I think that was like him saying like that's what he experienced that made him leave college.
Yeah, but
Where
it felt
somebody
like that
committed
was
fucking suicide because of this thing. Like,
yeah, because of
they
this.
wanted. I think that them jumping off, holding hands like that,
Yeah.
like was we want to go too.
We want to go together. Oh yeah, we want to go as well.
Why didn't
yeah.
we get picked? And they tried to, and they wanted to go too, so they killed themselves. But we don't necessarily know that the people that disappeared are dead. That's the problem
Yeah.
with the whole thing is nobody knows what happened.
Yeah, exactly. What if they come back in 10 years and then people have
I mean,
killed
dude,
themselves?
like,
There's all kinds of crazy ways it could
Is
go.
it going to be too much like what was that show? Was it the
The 4400.
4400?
If they came back,
come
yeah. I mean, and there's another show where they just came back. It was called like Believe or something on ABC or some shit. I don't know.
What?
Yeah. So, anyways, he tells the guy that he doesn't have to be such a dick and that he's going to
ABC.
forget he ever felt this way, and he means burdened.
ABC sucks, dude.
Yeah. Except Lost.
But I mean, I don't know. Well, I guess they were the only really good one. All the broadcast channels, man, the garbage, the fucking NCIS. Kiss my fucking ass, Mark Harmon. Suck
Yeah.
a dick. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I
the
don't-
driver's talking to the congressman, and he tells him he doesn't have to be such a dick, and that he's gonna forget he ever felt burdened. And he says, "Do you say that to all the people you drive?" And he says, "No, sometimes I say abandoned."
Right.
And then he asks about Wayne. And Garvey arrives late at the meeting, and the bitch running the meeting says snarkily, "Well, at least that gave you time for your emergency."
Well, that's because his lies. He said the dude that he arrived with, his boy or whatever, told him. He said, "I told her you had a family emergency." And he was
Oh.
like, "Well, their office told me the wrong time." So when he walked in the door, she was like, "Welcome to the meeting" or whatever, and he was like, "Well, your office told me the wrong time." And he's like, "Well," she was like, "Well, at least that gave you time to deal with your emergency."
Yeah,
To like
nice.
kind of like catch him, in the lie
Okay,
the other guy told.
that
him.
makes more sense then, I guess.
Right. But it's still a snarky fucking bitch
yeah.
comment.
So they're planning on having
She's
the
a
very
bitch.
first Heroes Day, and one guy says he doesn't think they were heroes. He says, "My brother-in-law left, and he was a dipshit."
He was a dipshit.
They are heroes because no one is going to celebrate What the Fuck Happened Day, is what she says.
What? We don't know what the fuck
WTF Happened Day.
Yeah.
Everybody is ready to feel better, and
I
somebody
don't think
says,
it was
"Not the
what
remnants."
the fuck happened day. I think it was we don't know what the fuck happened day.
Yeah, something like that.
It's still good.
And she says that that everybody's ready to feel better, and Garvey says, "Not the remnants," and Garvey thinks they are trying to provoke them, and who are they? And
What was her simple thing was don't be provoked.
yeah, and she won't call off the event, and he says nobody's ready to feel better; they're ready to fucking explode.
Which I think
And walks
was
the
like
fuck out.
representative of the whole fucking thing.
So, girl playing some shitty sport that, as an American, I don't need to know the name of. Jill elbows girl who
Man,
tripped her.
what the fuck was that? I saw that. I was like, what the fuck are they playing?
Hockey. They said it later.
He said it, but that's no. I don't
It
know.
was
if he-
field
I-
hockey or some
I
gay
don't-
shit.
That's not hot.
Yeah, I know.
But no, wait.
It looked really lame. It looked like
they had,
lacrosse or some
little,
bullshit.
No, it wasn't lacrosse.
Something
I've
that
seen
I'm not
lacrosse.
European enough to
Lacrosse,
know the name
they
for.
got sticks with nets on the end of them. These were like little shoehorns they were fucking playing with. What the fuck are those,
that?
dude? What was
No,
that?
That's its
They called it. It's probably field hockey. It's probably just that.
fungus.
So, let's see. Jill elbows the girl who tripped her.
I see. I took the comment later when he called it that. I thought he was being snarky.
Who?
How's hockey practice? Like I thought he was being like, I don't know what the fuck your stupid sport is playing, so I'll just call it hockey.
I mean-
like that's how I took the comment later on in the show. I don't know. Go on.
So, anyways, his daughter fucking elbows this girl who tripped her intentionally right in the nose and makes her start bleeding. And then she's just sitting in the office, and the coach is giving her shit, and she just does not give a fuck. She DGAF, and she says it won't happen again.
DM.
Don't give up. Okay.
Yeah.
DM.
Yeah. She says that, she's basically like, I don't give a fuck. And she's
What'd
like,
she
as
say?
long as the cunt stays away from me, it won't happen again.
And drops the teacher's jaw.
Yeah. Yeah. And nobody seems to mind cussing. So, anyways, they're still. Then it cuts to them still driving to Wayne's. There's so much stuff. I'm just trying to burn through it as quick as I can here. Sorry.
I'm not in any rush. You're
No.
the one who said you wanted to finish.
No, it's fine. I
don't
can.
have to-
Let's see.
Aaron
I
seems
want to
mildly
learn. I want to learn
entertained.
all about the show.
Okay.
I want to learn about it. It looked good.
It's
So
good.
she's just dripping with attitude. She seems like one of those kind of.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Just a bitch.
Yeah, just a bitch.
Who were we talking about now? I forgot.
The girl, the daughter.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So then we cut to them still driving to Wayne's, and they arrive at some sort of compound, and a guy has a gun at the entrance. And they enter a cabin and go upstairs, and the Congressman Witten meets Wayne and asks if Wayne can help him. And the driver goes and drops gummy worms for an Asian girl.
But the old lady, are you like just burning through all that stuff? The old lady talking to him? I thought that was kind of weird. Like the one old lady that was kind of running the show for a minute. She kind of directed him where to go. Madeline, go. What do you want?
Where's Lena's shirt?
Go ask Lena.
I did.
Well, I don't know. We're doing something here. You need to go in the other room.
That was basically the speech that the old lady gave to the guy. What he just said to Madeline, and
Well, you know what I'm talking about. Come on, the old lady that answered the door. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I thought she was kind of stoic and strange.
maybe I'm so used to the old lady being
Stoic and strange.
yeah that I'm just callous to it. I didn't even think about her twice. Let's see. They arrive at the compound. That's already happened. Yeah. Oh, when he goes and gives the Asian girl gummy worms, and then they discuss some shitty reality show.
But did you notice the other guy watching him in the background?
Yeah, it was
That
the guy
was like,
from
what?
the gate.
Yeah, he was peeking in.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then he gets a call from his dad, aka the main person in the show, seemingly.
Garvey.
And Garvey's is drinking in the car, watching everyone go into a building with the blue ribbon on it, which I just remember distinctly from the previews for the show. The blue ribbon,
Right.
the baby blue ribbon.
Well,
So that was on there.
Did you see the T-shirts with like the hollowed out person? Like it was a paint splat, but there was like a person, just like a hollowed out person.
I didn't see it. Was that on the show?
Like yeah.
Oh,
like,
no, I didn't
like during
catch
the
that.
parade, people wearing T-shirts, and it was like a blue paint splat, like that same blue color, but it was like if a person was standing there, like a silhouette. Like they
Yeah,
just
like
gone.
they would have been covered with paint and walked away, and then it would have been just the.
Just the silhouette
Yeah.
of them. It was just like
Okay.
a disappeared person. Like, I thought those were like cool T-shirts. Like, I just thought it was funny for the show. Like, I wouldn't mind having that like logo. Like that would be a cool logo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought it was neat. Did we lose our way a little bit here with the
No.
distractions?
No, he
Sorry.
goes into his house. Kevin does. Garvey. He goes into his house and grabs another beer, and he's going upstairs and he sees a family photo and he elbows it. You
Cracks it.
and just walks up. And then we cut back to the.
So at this point in the show, we've met.
At this point, we've met Kevin Garvey. We've met his daughter Jill and his son Tom.
But we've met. Okay, so that we know. So as far
Yeah.
as we know,
That's
it looks,
his family.
It looks like the
Yeah,
wife
like the wife is gone.
because they didn't show the picture that he elbowed.
Correct.
Okay.
And then it cuts to the GRs, and it says, "We do not smoke for enjoyment. We smoke to proclaim our faith." And they're sitting in a circle, passing around folders, and the girl we've been following. I know her name is Lori at this point. Lori has a
Because
picture of Liv
they hadn't
Tyler.
said that already yet.
No, they hadn't said that already. I'm just saying her name
hasn't.
to hammer that into people so that they
I don't know if I had got up to go coffee. I missed this part.
Her name was Lori.
Where she
Well,
had the picture of Liv Tyler. I missed that.
they were sitting in a circle with that smoking sign explaining why they smoked, and then she starts passing out things, and it said watching and looking and stuff like that. So they're sending
all
these
the
people out
different assignments.
to go find. They're obviously recruiting. Yeah. So lady next to her holds up a paper that says she's pretty. That she wrote because they can't talk. So it's kind of cool that they're just doing little notes and things too. Like there's
They
I don't
can't
know.
speak, right?
Yeah, they're not supposed to speak. So Jill and her friend are smoking a joint, and they discuss Jill's shitty attitude. That's great that teenagers are sitting there talking about how bad one of their attitude
Right.
is. It's just like, look, you're kind of a dick, and
Seriously,
this is
right?
the problem.
Even for a teenage girl,
Yeah,
you're
you
being
got
kind
some
of a bitch.
issues.
And this is coming from another teenage
yeah,
girl.
this is coming from another bitch.
one of your peers, right? Because you can tell she's a bitch too.
Yeah.
The fucking friend,
Uh-huh.
she's kind of a bitch too, but maybe not quite as much of a bitch as the other one.
So they discuss her attitude, and the other girl starts moaning like she's getting it. For some reason, I think she was implying because of the guy that Jill likes.
girl likes, right.
Yeah. So guys roll up and they're listening to a Childish song.
Twins. Oh, were they?
Yep. I was listening close. I'm like, why does this sound so familiar? They were listening to Flux Pavilion featuring Childish. It's called Do or Die. And ask if they want to get stoned and play ping pong. And they are already stoned. And so let's just get right to the ping pong. And the girl starts moaning again about his little white ball.
Right.
Basically the gist of
They
it.
kind of off the dudes who are like, oh, we'll pass. And
Yeah.
But they were twins.
The guys were?
The guys in the car were twins.
Oh, okay. I thought they looked similar.
They were
I
twins.
wasn't really paying attention.
They show them later on.
Okay. So the congressman comes out no longer burdened. He
Smiling.
seems happy, I want to meet Wayne. For fuck's sake, I want that burden lifted off of me. Whatever makes me feel shitty every day, about myself, I want that burden lifted. I would love to go meet a Wayne that could just make you happy, and it's like, all
I
right,
was going to say,
clean
we met
slate.
Wayne in the show. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
In the
I
show,
wanna
like,
meet him.
You want to meet him in real life?
In real life. I want to meet him in the show in real life.
So
though.
go talk to one of these televangelists.
Well,
We're on the same deal, probably. Anyway, go ahead. Come on. We don't know Wayne well enough yet to discuss that.
So he
Or
comes out no
why.
longer burdened, and Tom is ready to take him back, but they are sending him with someone else, and Wayne wants to speak with Tom. And Tom looks nervous as fuck, and the
Right.
lady tells him to chill out, basically, and Wayne will come to him. And yeah, that just seemed like one of those. He's the leader, and it was like he was nervous about. It's like when your parents are like, "We're gonna talk when I get home," and that's all you get, and you're like, "Oh fuck, what could it be? Was it because I did that, or was it?" And you know you've done bad shit, but you don't know what they know, so it's just mind racing. That's what I pictured from him.
I kind of was like, I got the feeling like when he was talking to that Chinese chick and giving her the gummy worms and all that. Like he looked up at the other dude that was kind of checking him out, like he wasn't, like he was doing something wrong.
Yeah, like
And
he
come
knew
to
he
find
shouldn't have
out,
been.
Like, dude, like yeah.
Oh, so he was probably worried about that.
I think
yeah.
that's what he was worried about. Like the dude you wanted to talk to him about this chick or whatever.
So we go to dinner at Kevin's or at Garvey's with his daughter and her friend, and she says the meatloaf is fucking spectacular. Ball busting occurs from the daughter. Friend
Well,
asks if Jill can go
His
to a
response
party.
to that was pretty good though. 'Cause
What?
You
That's
figuring
the
a
best.
A parent's going to be like, "You watch your mouth," you know, this and that, and
Yeah.
shoot. And he was just like, "Best thing anybody ever said about my cooking."
Yep.
You know, he kind
so-
of just brushed it off. So
Yeah, that was weird. That set a weird dynamic for the parent-child relationship.
I think there's a weird dynamic with the kids. Like I think
Yeah.
their whole
Everything's
mentality is
changed.
Kind of weird, yeah.
So the friend asks if Jill can go to a party and borrow Dad's car. Says no drinking and don't come to. No drinking and don't come tomorrow to the parade.
Right.
And the friend tells Dad, "You're doing your best." That was a weird little moment. Like everybody knows how fucked up it is to not have the mom. So even as a teenager, she goes, "Look, you're trying. You know, you're doing what you can.
Right.
It may not always work, but whatever." So we go to Liv Tyler's house, which they're standing in the street.
Do we catch her name?
We catch it at the very end. Her name is Meg.
Meg, right? Okay.
So I'll
But
just
they
start
don't say
calling
it.
her Meg now.
Okay, right, Meg.
So Liv Tyler, aka Meg, is they're standing out in the street, the GRs, and then they just drive past him.
They're just
and pretend
staring
they're
at
not
him.
there. Yeah,
Like
they're
he's
just-
the husband or soon-to-be husband, just kind of like scoots her into the car and
yeah, shuffles her off, and they
Right.
just drive past him. We cut to a
But Liv
party.
Tyler's got really good at that cry face, like she's been crying for 4 hours
Uh-huh.
before you've seen her. Before you've seen her, that was poor English. Before you've seen her.
We cut to the party where debauchery not of the high school level is occurring. There's
Right.
no way that was high school. If that's fucking high school now, I'm horrified about the next 7 years of my
Oh
life.
my God!
For
right.
fuck's sake.
If this is what kids are doing nowadays,
Because it was
they were
like
sniffing cocaine.
they were doing
fucking-
iPhone version of Spin the Bottle, and it would say things like "fuck," and yeah, and then they would just walk into the room. She turns to her friend, and she's like, "Oh, I don't want to. If you don't want me to, I mean, I don't have to." And she's like, "Oh
Dude
no,
just
go
stands
ahead."
up, picks the chick up, and walks
So
off.
glad
Yeah.
I don't have children.
Oh
So
my God, it's terrifying.
but the
Terrifying.
friend ends up fucking the guy she likes.
Terrible.
And then we go to Meg at dinner, and the guy is all into wedding decor. The boyfriend.
Yeah, he's all talking about. Right,
Yeah, he's
wedding.
all into that shit for some reason,
Right.
which is really weird. And she's just not bothered at all. The guilty remnants show up outside the restaurant, and the fiance goes out to reason with them, and shockingly, they leave.
Right. It went the opposite way of what we thought.
Yeah. This guy has to burn himself at the party because it said burn on the spin
So
the
they
thing.
burn a fork. They light a fork.
They light a fork and then put it on his
Put it on
fucking
his skin
arm
and burn him.
for like
Brand them.
no,
cattle.
it's still going.
Like
It's
cattle.
still going. It's still going. Then he rips it off.
Right.
Like holy shit.
and then stands up like a fucking psycho and goes.
Oh, it pours beer on it and shit.
Right.
Yeah, like what the
Fucking
fuck is going
psycho,
on? And then
right.
smashes the bottle on the floor.
Right.
Apparently, they were at a house where the parents disappeared.
Oh.
That's what I gathered from that.
Ah, I did
Party
not.
house.
I
But-
bet you all debt got erased, like in that sense. Like a lot of things changed because of that. Like they're not going to take the home from the kids if the kids are left there, right?
Right, but especially like a
Imagine all the
teenager.
paperwork that would go with
another
that.
thing though is like how does that work then? Because like are they 18 now and they just got the house because
I don't know.
3 years before that they would have only been 15 years old. You're 14, 15 years old at that point.
I have no idea.
So did they? Yeah. Well,
It's been
since
3 years now?
the
Yes, it's been 3 years since the
what did
thing.
you call
The
it?
rapturing or
The sudden
The
departure.
sudden departure, because like that's one of the struggles of the show is nobody knows what the fuck it was.
Right.
A lot of people are saying it's the rapture, but there's another guy handing out fucking things saying no, it wasn't because this woman beat her children. This
Yeah.
guy was
He's like, I got proof.
These
yeah.
are not good people,
These
you
are
know.
not good people.
So Jill spins. That's the main character's daughter, and lands on Choke. And Jill and Max go into the room and get almost naked and just kind of like very casually. They just
Right.
both strip down. Like there's no
It's
two ways
not a
about
big
this.
deal.
It's gonna happen. They strip down. They both get to he gets to his boxers, she gets to bra and panties, and they lay down on the bed and start talking. And it's all like this depressing talk, like about the mom and stuff like that. And then he asks if it's cool if he jerks off.
Oh,
And she says, yeah, no problem. And he says, well, are you going to choke me? Or because choke was the thing on the dial.
Right.
On and then she just kind
seriously,
of chokes him, and then a tear just falls down her. Yeah.
It's
And
weird.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
You have to check it out. It's good
You
stuff.
sold me.
So, and then the best thing is Marvin Gaye starts playing Let's Stay
Get It
Together.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't know. The only
And then
Marvin
it
Gaye
cut to
song I know
them
is
in
Let's Get It On.
they came to the it cuts to them in the car, Liv Tyler, Meg, and her fiance, and I don't think she's into him. I wrote that at that point. I don't think she is into him at all. She curses at and slaps the Guilty Remnants, which is the cult of people that don't speak and wear all white and smoke cigarettes.
Saw that in the preview.
So Jill sees her friend with the guy she likes, and he's eating her out.
Right.
And Jill leaves and talks to some guys outside about baby shoes, and she opens the trunk to find the dead dog. The two gay guys and Jill bury
Well,
it.
those are the twins.
Oh yeah, they're not gay. They just seem very gay.
And they lost their keys or something. And she's like, well, my dad may have something in the trunk to get the car door open or whatever. So let me, and she opens the trunk and finds the dog that got shot earlier in the show.
Yep. So they bury it, and
I'm-
there's an
okay.
urban legend that a pack of dogs live out in the woods.
Pause.
What's
Pause
up?
for.
Amazon.com.
real-
Click to.
Go ahead. Do that. Pause for station identification. Anyway, they got 112 minutes, or not 112 minutes, an hour and 12 minutes.
For the
Fucking none of the Game of Thrones episodes barely hit a fucking hour, except the last one went like 102 minutes or something like that.
106, an hour 6.
Hour and 6
It was
minutes.
their pilot, though, right?
Yeah, this was their
But
pilot.
seriously, like,
That's their pilot.
come
They're
on.
not gonna get that
You can't give us
anymore.
they can't give us 2, 3, 4, 5 extra minutes an episode in Game of Thrones.
No,
Anyway,
not gonna happen.
Back on subject.
So
I want to watch that.
there's an urban legend
You
that
haven't watched Game of Thrones?
they've buried the dog at this point. And there's an urban legend that a pack of dogs live out in the woods after going crazy on the 14th, as they seem to call it.
But
and
they say-
not all the dogs went crazy, just the ones who witnessed people disappearing.
Right.
And the dogs just snapped. And Jill apologizes to Dudley, saying that was the dog. I'm sorry you got stuck with us. I think she means like didn't get raptured away. I
Right.
think that's what she's saying by got stuck with us.
Oh, I thought she just meant like the human race.
Yeah, that's what I
Altogether.
mean by
Right.
stuck with us as in not getting taken away.
See, but it goes back to the question I posed earlier was,
What's that?
what did it happen to animals?
But they get taken away.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't gotten that far yet.
Right.
Wayne enters Tom's cabin creepily at night and wakes him up. I definitely thought it was going to be a rape scene. And they need to.
We're not watching Game of Thrones.
I know, right? They need to talk about Christine, aka the Asian girl, and Wayne says she's important and Tom needs to protect her, keep her close, keep her safe, and keep your fucking hands off her.
Right.
And Wayne has the same dream about his son over and over, and it says, "We're gone, Daddy, and all the people who stayed are asleep, but they need to wake up now." And then he leans in and says, "The grace period is over."
Best line of the show. That was the line that made my hair stand up. And I was
Yeah?
like, oh, okay. What the fuck is he talking about? And what does he know that the rest of us fucking don't?
Yeah, right.
You know?
Well, he's
'Cause
obviously
you get
got
the
some
feeling, right, that he does. Well, he's got a cult apparently following him.
and he's
armed guards.
He made that guy happy.
Yeah,
Whatever he
like,
did
whatever
made that guy happy.
Yeah.
So we cut to Kevin driving, and radio static starts happening.
What's this guy's name? Holy Wayne? Is that what they call him?
Not yet. They haven't said it yet.
Just Wayne.
I would have wrote it.
Well, he doesn't call himself Holy Wayne.
Yeah, it's.
I'm going from the stuff we saw.
yeah,
in the
you're going from the previous.
Okay.
Radio static starts happening, and he hits something, and I wrote, "It's going to be the deer," and he wakes up on his floor basically naked. But it was something.
Well, it was like he got out of his car during that thing, and the deer was like making that sound that a deer makes or
Yeah.
whatever, and he walked around the front and it like moved, and then he like woke up.
Yeah.
And he was like
So he was
already
just
like, the
dreaming it.
meeting that he was supposed to be at, or the parade starts in 15
Yeah.
minutes. He's got to he's late. He
Yeah,
walks,
Jill didn't come home, and his kitchen is destroyed,
Destroyed.
and it looked like the deer did it.
It looked like an animal had torn his
Yeah.
right.
I thought the deer fucking got in there for some reason. I don't understand what his connection to this deer is.
I don't. Well, it skipped
That- so-
really abruptly there. It was like the show. It like went a weird direction there. Like he was dreaming of hitting that deer with his car.
Yeah.
Like he was hearing those noises in his kitchen below.
Yeah.
That night as he was sleeping,
Oh,
he was
so it-
hearing all of that going on.
I've had that with like an alarm clock where it fit into my dream.
and that's and like
Yeah.
fit into his dream, and that's why he had that dream because that deer was. And then he woke up out of it like, whoa.
Oh, okay.
And then walked downstairs, and that motherfucker had torn up his house. But was the door? The door was closed, wasn't it?
No, it was open.
Oh, the door was wide
The
open.
door was wide open, yeah.
So what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So maybe I
He
misinterpreted
was
the
in the
deer to
same-
begin with, and the deer was never a statue.
It was alive.
And it was the real deer that he sees later.
So it had to be.
It
has
had to be
the same
that.
deer.
It doesn't make sense
It
not to
doesn't
be.
to be the same deer.
Yeah.
So then this is a deer that was wandering, fucking lost in their little neighborhood or whatever, because you basically assume that it was in the same vicinity or neighborhood where he went earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why are you shaking your head?
I'm shaking my head because fucking John Cena's walking out and he's got both the belts. And he's the first one to think to just put him around his neck like that. Fucking asshole. God
Why
damn
is he
it.
the first one to think of it?
Because they never had to have two belts before. It was always one. So he fucking buckled them together and they're hanging around his neck. Daniel Bryan could have still done the yes.
So how's he have the
If
belts
he
now?
because Daniel Bryan had to forfeit him because he had to have neck surgery and Cena won him at the fucking Money in the Bank. Anyway, sorry,
Well, we're
sorry,
switching
people.
subjects, right.
Anyways, I'll get back to this. We're at the parade, and the mayor is the black lady. I just figured that out.
Right.
She is convinced that everyone needs this, and the GRs are en route. We see the parade set to moody music, and the preacher is saying it wasn't the rapture, and he has proof. They were no better than us.
Right. This woman beat her children. Look.
Yeah.
And I'll keep you free of charge. And he's
And
fucking
he's a
just-
preacher.
Right.
Yeah.
And he started handing shit out. Like he's giving pieces of paper out with information and people on it. And then Garvey walks up, right?
Yeah, he sees Jill, and then she asks about the dead dog, and Jill says she wants to be there. And they unveil the statue, and it's a mom with a baby floating away, and it looks horrifying.
Didn't he talk to the preacher?
Not yet.
Oh.
Oh, maybe. Maybe I,
I
just
thought he
didn't
walked
mark
up to him and said, "Hey, do you have to do this today?"
Yeah, and he was like, yes, today's
Yes,
is-
today's especially today. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Well, just don't cause any trouble." And he kind of just brushes him aside.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stop him from doing this right now, so just go ahead.
So the statue looked horrifying. It was,
What a
it was a mom like
terrible,
this, and then the
awful-
baby's floating away. Really weird.
Was it floating away? Or it looked
Yeah.
like it was falling. Is that what it was
It
supposed to
was
be?
it was being torn away from her. Why the fuck would you use that as a
They
statue?
discussed the statue earlier in the show about how terrible it was, about
Yeah.
how awful the statue was. And they're like, well, let's just get the unveiling over with quickly and just pull it off of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kids read off the names of the departed, and they say that Nora Durst lost her whole family. She recounts a tale of her and the family at the beach and says it was like the best day. She didn't think she deserved anything that good. And then recounts another tale of when they all got the flu on a Saturday and it was horrible. And she says she's not greedy. She's not asking for that beach day, but she would take that sick day because they would all be alive and together. And she lost her whole family.
She lost her husband.
Two or three
was
kids, and
four of us, I think she said.
Yeah, and her
so
husband.
2 kids and her husband are all gone, just disappeared.
Yeah,
Wow.
and she lost the most, and
Right.
then the GRs show
And
up.
Their little community. Where are we at?
suburb?
Somewhere in New York?
I don't remember the name of the town of all
Somewhere in
things.
New York or New Jersey, but it's a small like Mellendale or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But it all takes place in this one community in New York or New Jersey or somewhere.
So the guilty remnants show up like a
Right.
mob, all in white, and the cops approach the line of guilty remnants, and they hold up a sign that reads, "Stop wasting your breath." People are pissed, and the mob is approaching them. They start fucking them up, and the guilty remnants don't fight back. The mayor looks on helplessly, and the cops start subduing the people. And dude picks up the main Lori from the line and helps her off. And I took note of that. Then I'm like, okay, so she's more important. And then I did end up calling it kind of. I nearly wrote it. I started typing it towards the end. But
Well, I called it when he pulled up at the house.
I said
That's when
actually I wrote a prediction that said the guilty remnants the guilty remnant we have been focusing on is going to talk or leave the GR first. I just knew there was something with her at
Okay.
that time. I didn't know what it was going to
Oh.
be yet.
Talk though, right?
They don't talk.
They don't
correct.
speak, right?
So we're at the bar, and there are two idiots arguing about religion on TV, and we see some of The Departed. Did you catch the fucking names, dude? Holy shit.
What?
Hilarious.
Oh, the one I heard was talking about Gary Busey.
Yeah, so anyways, it showed a list. I paused it at each one and wrote it down. Condoleezza Rice, Salman Rushdie, Shaquille O'Neal, standing next to a little fucking basketball hoop by his pool. Hilarious. I don't know why that made me laugh so hard, but
my God.
Jennifer Lopez, Anthony Bourdain, Gary Busey, Bonnie Raitt, Pope Benedict XVI.
The Pope I get, but why Gary Busey? That was the line, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
The annoying mom asks what happened to Kevin's eye, and he got hit with a shoe, and she kind of didn't believe him, or was making fun of him for it a little bit, kind of giving him shit about that. She's like, "Really, shoe?"
When did he get hit by his shoe?
During the fight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't catch him getting hit.
So she was asking, where were you when it happened? And it cut to him fucking his wife, which I thought was crazy because at that time I'm thinking, holy fuck.
Did she disappear?
She fucking disappeared while he was fucking her. How horrifying would that be? How crazy. That's batshit crazy. I was like, holy fuck, that would be amazing.
That's why he's inside of it.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's going to town and then she's gone.
You just kind of like,
What?
what?
Whoa.
So, let's see. He says he was cleaning the gutter at home. Yeah, he was. Aha.
Right.
He was cleaning the gutter. She says she was in the parking lot at the laundromat, and they are still here, is what he says. And we sure are, she says. And the guy who shot the dog walks by and goes outside. And he tries to stop him, but he's drunk, and he drops his gun, and then the guilty remnants show up. And he arrives at the house of the guilty remnants, as I called it for some reason, and he asks for Lori. And he says, just point. And so the guy points, and he goes over and shouts for Lori, and he has to kick someone's ass to find her. Big guy wouldn't let him past.
Right.
And she comes outside, and he asks if she is okay, and some other lady tells him to leave by pointing.
The same lady that she was talking to.
Yeah, the one that she
lady.
was asking. Yeah, exactly. And he asks Lori to take a walk, and she writes, "You're not welcome here," on a sign. And then he goes, "Yeah, I know." And then she turns it back, and he goes, "Yeah, thanks for underlining it."
Right.
And then he says, "I just wanted to talk to my wife." And the wife cries. The main lady we've been following is his wife, and so she obviously lost it after the sudden departure.
And so at that point we learn that he hasn't lost anybody.
His family is intact, technically,
Okay.
but mentally they're not.
Right.
So he begs her to come home, and I felt for the guy. And then the big guy slams his face into the hood of his car, and he
beats
spits out a bunch of blood.
The guy that he was, the guy
That he
whose
beat
ass
up.
he was kicking comes back and gets him.
Yeah, so he leaves, and a taxi pulls up. And Meg, a.k.a. Liv Tyler, gets out and then asks to stay with them. And the lady,
At that point, I
Patty,
think I was
Peggy,
like, what?
yeah. Yeah, so
They-
Patty, Peggy, whatever, I can't remember.
Because they've been following her and scaring the shit out of her the whole time. And then she shows up. She's like, "Can I stay here?" And I was like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, she goes, "Can I stay here for a few days?" And the lady, I don't remember. Do you remember if Patty?
Patty.
Peggy? Patty? Okay. She says she can stay as long as she wants. And
She
she actually
speaks.
said it. And she says, "Meg, you and I won't speak again."
Or I think she asked. They introduced themselves, and then she says, "You and I
Why
won't
don't
speak
they
again."
speak?
They just, I
They
don't
took
know.
a vow
We'll
of
figure that out.
silence or whatever.
Don't know that yet.
So Jill is home, and Tom is pacing around the pool, and he has lash marks on his back.
Who does?
Tom. When they showed him standing there, he had been beat by a whip or something.
The kid.
son.
No
Yeah.
shit. I
Yeah.
didn't catch that either.
So Jill
Right before he dives in the pool.
Yes. And Jill sees the broken picture, and then Tom goes swimming. Jill takes the broken glass out, revealing Lori, and Tom screams underwater. Jill cries. Kevin calls Tom. He doesn't answer. Kevin stops the car, and there is a deer there. Very Christian Shepherd from the first couple episodes of Lost. It
kinda
really
bad.
struck me like how it was just there again,
Yeah.
or like the horse with Kate,
Right.
like those kind of things.
Yeah.
And
I'll go into that too. How much of a lost feel the show has. I
Yeah.
guess that you can
Those
chalk
are the
that up to
things,
Damon
I mean-
Lindelof, but like really, like the show gives me a real lost feel. Like the deer thing, like at the end, then it gets out, and he's just like,
yeah, he asked the deer if it was in his house last night. Like
just
he was
like,
going to
so,
answer.
like the deer. Dude, I was like half a second. I was like, dude, if this deer speaks, I'm
know.
turning the fucking TV off.
And then
If the deer talks, I'm
yeah,
turning the show
I'm
off.
fucking out. So a pack of dogs come running and chase and kill the deer, like fucking
Right.
like walkers.
Violent shit. dude.
Violently
like
ate
a
that
pack
shit.
of wild fucking dogs comes running from behind him.
So the
and
guy that shot the dog that just got away shows up and says, "They're not our dogs." And Kevin asks if he's awake. He goes, the sheriff is like, "Am I awake?"
Am I awake? Right.
And the guy says, "You are now, Chief." And he shoots the dog and says, "Are you going to help?" You know,
He says,
basically.
"You got a gun?"
And Kevin starts shooting too.
He walking towards the screen, all fucking sweaty and crazy.
End credits.
You can hear dogs yelp in the background, and you get the end credits.
That is it.
It was pretty excellent. I even talking through it now, it was even better than
It's better than I thought it
that
was.
I thought
at
it
the
was
time.
too. Yeah, it's really really good stuff, and I think it's going to pan out.
Please send us in questions for next
Did you
week.
watch?
and
Did you watch the incoming weeks
Cool.
No.
and the leftovers? You didn't see that?
No.
Okay.
Nope, I don't watch previews because of the same reason that I didn't like the trailer, because they cut shit out of context and it annoys me when it's not what they say it is.
It's totally.
It's bullshit. Anyways, unless you got anything else left over that you wanted to say,
I mean, I don't really have anything else, but like I think we got ourselves a new Jack.
we absolutely
Like,
have a new Jack.
Kevin is our new Jack.
Kevin is our new
Shepherd.
Jack. The
Kevin
heavy
Garvey
breathing.
equals-
The heavy breathing is replaced
Just
by
kind
angst.
of like angry, confused,
Angst, crying.
like inner, like just turmoil. Like the thing that kind of threw me in the show, like it was like really cool. Like at the end was the reveal that his whole family was intact. Like
Yeah.
his whole family was here, but like. They didn't lose anybody. Like, in
But
this
they
whole
lost
deal,
everybody.
But they didn't lose anybody. But this family is torn apart.
Look
by
how
this whole
fucking
deal.
splintered they all are.
Right.
They're all
Even
alone.
the dad, like his dad or whoever supposedly went crazy. The naked guy running through the fucking
Yeah.
the neighborhood, knocking over lawn chairs.
This family has lost their shit.
Right.
And we're going to find out why. Now, the question I have is that better? Is that more important to the viewer than why they suddenly departed?
But at this point, it has to be because this is not the story. Like
No,
I'm saying,
I
like-
know that their intention is for this to happen. My question is, do we have a lost on our hand in that regard where people are expecting something that they're not necessarily going to get versus people going, okay, this time we know, or we're going to go into it thinking blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll put it like this. When I watched Lost, like I didn't know how to watch television. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like that may sound stupid, but there's a you watch for things. Like we've been talking about the whole time. Like Joel is very good at watching television, experienced television watcher. You know what I'm saying?
I'm good at watching TV. What can I say?
Right. But like the way I felt about Lost, I remember watching the first episode with you in the fucking garage at my house.
Yeah.
Where you live there.
Yeah.
You know, it was the first time I ever watched an episode of Lost and seeing the monster in the trees move. What the fuck is this? What's happening? Where are they? I don't know. And you're just like, dude, just watch the fucking show. You just gotta watch. You had seen the whole first season at that
Yes.
point, I believe, and you were just like, yeah, you just gotta watch. Just gotta watch. You wouldn't answer any of my questions, and I didn't know how to fucking take any of it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So now, knowing that kind of stuff and knowing who made this show,
Yeah.
I kind of know
You're
a
more
little bit of-
receptive to that.
to just kind of owning, because after a while you're totally invested in the characters in Lost,
Yeah.
and that all the mystery stuff becomes kind of secondary to what's happening with Jack. and
Not that
what's
they
happening
don't
with Kate.
successfully wrap everything up.
This is a novel, though, right?
This is a novel, but it's going to go on beyond the novel. They're hoping it goes a couple seasons, obviously, and
Right.
then so that's going to go longer than the book did. So it's going to be extended from the book, not the same ending.
Gotcha.
But
This world will be expanded in ways that the book didn't do necessarily.
I don't know. I kind of like where it's going. I like the characters we've seen so far, and I'm going to keep watching it.
I'm in.
like,
I
I'm
recommend watching this
I
show.
recommend to check it out.
gonna check
I
it out
recommend you listening to our show, and then I
Yes.
also recommend that if you're going to buy anything,
Amazon.
buy it on
Through-
Amazon.com, but you got to click on the link through our website.
Through
comeuppance.com.
comeuppance.com. If you have any questions or thoughts or comments, I'll play if you call in and leave me a voicemail, I will play it on here. My number is 219-808-6019. You talk through the number.
So I did.
219-808-6019. And if you want to email anything, comeuppance@gmail.com. COMEUPPENCE
And
at
that would-
gmail.com.
That would be really cool, people, if we got some listener interaction.
Yeah, I'm
Or viewer
totally not
interaction.
going to be the one to call in and leave a voicemail. It won't be me.
I'm
so
I'm already.
You will do it though. That's the
Yes,
problem.
that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying it so that they don't expect
Or
it when
you
it
will
happens.
you will hold other people like accountable.
I will.
telling them like, you're gonna do this for me, or
Yes, I will get people to watch the show and
I've been
force them to
soliciting
call.
people. I've been soliciting people. I solicited like 3 or 4 people today. Like, listen, you should watch the show,
Nice.
and then you should listen to my show.
You should, yes. Then click this link. I'll give you some cards to hand out too. Okay, see you later, guys.
Later.
Next week.
Hopefully, we'll have a name for the podcast next
Yes.
week. Later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.